Right, July the 4th, to me at least, has no real significance, but July the 4th 2019 is gonna be special. I'm heading to an iconic place on some really special bikes along some great roads. I can't wait. I've been up since 5 o'clock. I'm so excited. I'll tell you more when we get to the other side. Nous sommes en France. Okay, enough of the teasing, let's have a few facts now. Let's tell you what we're all about to do. We've come from over there to here, and we're on our way to Belgium. To Spa, the iconic racetrack in the Ardennes. We're going to the Bikers Classic. It's a classic bike meeting, and within it is a 4-hour endurance event that will run on Saturday from 8 PM till midnight. Now, just as special is what we've got to get us there. 1985 GSXR 750F, 1993 RGV 250, 1990 GSXR 1100, and I'll come to this in a minute about the dates, a 2002 TL 1000S. What is not to like? Right, a bit more about the bikes. Each of these 4 bikes, each of these 4 classics, these icons from Suzuki's history, has been restored using the Suzuki Vintage Parts Programme. You can buy bits for these bikes, brand new bits, to restore them and then subsequently keep them running on a daily basis. Now, I've not ridden all 4 yet, but the ones that I have are lovely runners, and it's a classic example of what you can achieve using that Vintage Parts Programme. Now, there's bound to be an absolute host of interesting, iconic bikes at this event at Spa. And what I'm particularly interested in are the race versions of bikes like the GSXR 750 and the GSXR 1100. Now, another interesting bike that we've got with us is the TL 1000S. That has been built from scratch using parts from the Vintage Parts Programme. That has not dropped off a production line. That has been built in the UK from all the spares that you can buy from the Suzuki Vintage Parts Programme. I very much warmed to this bike, I have to say. I think it takes time to readjust to, I was going to say 1985's performance levels. That's a bit unfair to the bike because in certain aspects it is still very impressive in 2019. I like the engine particularly. I seem to remember it at least as a bit of a sort of peaky rev monster. It doesn't need to be spun at all to deliver its goods. Okay, we're just about to start day 2 of our special trip to Spa. Stayed here last night in Arras, come down to the local Suzuki dealer, just have a bit of a cup of tea and a chat before we head off. One of the things that I really considered a lot yesterday when I was riding it was just how special it was in its day. I mean, back in '85, sports bikes, they might have been fast and they might have been powerful, but God, they were heavy. I mean, they typically weigh about 220, 230 kilos. This came along and weighing in at just 178 kilos dry, it just changed the way things were considered completely. Now it instantly went on to success in road and track. It helped launch the careers of people like Kevin Schwantz, Jim Whittam, and just was a hit worldwide. It was the launch really of the GSXR brand globally. Now, as much as I loved riding the iconic GSXR 750, the 1100 turned out to be a real treat too. Let me tell you more about that. With its 144 horsepower, it's never short of grunt. And thanks to just how well spread that power is, it really doesn't have to be revved much at all to deliver its meat. Going faster is an easy job. No wonder it did so well in production racing back in its day. Now the RGV 250 is a completely different bike to the GSXRs. Small, light and really exciting. Like any two-stroke, it's very involving and massive fun to ride. You have to earn that fun though. Unless you work the gearbox and keep the revs up, you won't get the best from the 62 horsepower motor. Work that V-twin stroker though, and the sound, the smell and the speed is hugely rewarding. Weighing in at just 138 kilos, it seems you only have to look at corners to get through them. Now this is a very special Suzuki. Built completely from brand new spares at the NEC show back in 2014, this super low mileage TL1000S feels just as new as the first one I rode back in 1997. It really does take me back. Its punchy 125 horsepower V-twin always gives you a strong response when you twist the throttle. Back in its day, the TL's handling could be viewed as lively by some. There were differing opinions on why this was the case, but this one, with its steering damper, always feels good and solid. Today the TL's become an absolute legend. I just didn't want to get off it. Well, we made it. We've clocked 480 miles on these babies. A bit of a slog at times. Northern France was a bit boring, but once we got into Belgium and onto the twistier sections and savoured a bit of the atmosphere here, it all got tickety-boo. Bit about the bikes. The journey was better than I thought. The GSXRs, the 4-strokes, were quite relaxing in many ways actually to ride. Grunty motors made it easy and they were generally comfortable. The 2-stroke, that just brought a smile to my face as soon as I rode it. Lovely little toy-like thing, gives you a proper buzz. The only issue we had was with the comfort of the GSXRs from a knee point of view. The seat and the footrest feel as though they're about that far apart. So unless you're Frankie Dettori, you're not going to be too comfy after a few hundred miles. Do you know what? I started to get really excited about 4 or 5 o'clock when we started getting quite close last night to this place. This is an incredible place. I mean, it's one of the world's most iconic circuits and it's hosting one of the most fantastic meetings. We've been here about 20 minutes, but I've seen stuff that I've never seen in my life before. Do you know what? I am much happier to be here than I would be going to Silverstone to watch MotoGP. More interesting, more friendly. This is a much more interesting place. There's stuff out there that you will never see anywhere else. If it's been raced at some point in the past at high level, it's here now. And on top of that, there's no egos, no pretense, no stupid money. There's just a load of people here to race motorbikes and have a great time. You can't ask for more than that now, can you?